I have swamp ass.
Swamp ass.
Swamp ass.
Now,
It's not because it's probably cooler outside than it is here in the studio right now.
it feels like it could be hotter in here than outside. But what's funny is upstairs, it's
like 63
it's like
degrees.
65 or
Yeah,
something
it's
like
like
that.
65.
It's freezing upstairs. But yeah, swamp ass, I don't have. You know, they have medication for that.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
That's one of our new sponsors. You'll have to
And,
listen to that commercial for Taint Away.
Gold Bond, we're pointing at you.
Taint Away.
Taint Away.
That's our new
Oh,
product.
yeah, they
That's
are
our new
sponsoring
product.
us. The Taint Away.
That's our new product.
Yeah,
We'll
we
be
got
pushing
two
that
new
later.
sponsors. Taint Away, and what was the other one? It was Kinks R Us.
Kinks R Us.
Kinks R Us
Yeah, we're not choosy.
is our second sponsor.
We're not choosy.
So we got to record their commercials, which is kind of cool. So we're going to have them in the commercial breaks for this one. So you're not going to want to miss those commercials. They turned out pretty good.
Good luck for everybody.
If I say so myself. It's pretty epic stuff. But welcome, guys. We are back. The Adulting is Hard, the Ken and Kyle podcast. I am
Episode
Ken.
10.
I am Kyle. That is Ken. And in
me.
our third chair, as always, we have Timmy the Tim Tim.
What's up?
Timmy. Probably get nailed for that
But
one.
guys,
Oh,
we have reached episode 10.
Yeah, we're in the double digits.
Double
Is
digits.
this the pinnacle?
1-0.
Is this it?
I retire.
Are we peaking? Yeah, I'm going to call it.
The fave's got to be.
I'm gonna
Like
call it
Mike
early.
already said, though, is
We're
we
huge-
might be,
we're huge overseas.
We might be too big for him.
Well,
Might be, you know.
I don't know that that's a fair
think so.
assessment of clout, but maybe.
Well, even if he's just stroking our ego, I'll take it
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
It's,
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good about just life in general.
yes. And your swamp ass, apparently.
In my swamp ass, yes. Oh.
Which is nasty. I can smell it from here.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. It
You
smells
can't,
like
because
a
if I
swamp.
can't smell it from here, and I'm right above it, you can't
Well,
smell
you're just
it
so
over there.
used to it. Like,
You never get used to
into
swamp
your,
ass.
into
Never
your
get used
face.
to it. You don't.
No,
you know.
I didn't say you get used to. Well,
Smells like death.
That's wonderful.
the wrong kind of death. I mean, I'll take. Speaking of death, we have the Darwin Awards we're
Oh, we
giving
do?
out today.
Yep.
So, and one of them involves a pretty gnarly death.
Yes.
That
Involves a robot.
but what I was gonna say is that death, the robot hit him because he had swamp ass and he just didn't want to stop
No.
anymore.
So he smelled him? You're saying the robot is.
The robot's like, get the fuck out of here with your swamp ass. And
Wow.
just
It could be.
knocked him.
It could be,
But we don't want to spoil what the whole thing is about. Well,
That's some
obviously
bitchin'
robots
AI
and the
right
guy
there.
getting hit by
that's
one.
an AI.
Yeah.
This happened in the 80s, I think.
Right.
So imagine it now. I mean, we're all going to die by Terminator. And This is the
Probably.
beginning of it right here.
Skynet's online, I swear. I mean, they're trying to make us
It's
all into
TikTok.
robots.
Skynet is TikTok.
Skynet is
Wow.
TikTok.
TikTok.
It's being banned.
I know,
as
and
it
that's
stands
why
right
it's going
now.
to fight back. It's going to fight back from the system. It's going to come
From the
back,
ban?
and it's going to nuke everybody because we can't make TikTok videos.
This could be a real thing.
Yeah,
You know,
TikTok,
that does scare me a little bit.
for the people out there, they're going to go, oh, but TikTok's awesome. No, it's not. Vine did this originally, and it was good.
Yeah,
TikTok
there's so
is
many
not.
good Vine videos out there.
There's still amazing ones that I go back and watch. Some good shit back then.
Because
TikTok
I
is
think
not.
they only had 5 seconds or
Yeah.
10 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, what does TikTok give you
Tik-
as much
1
as you
minute.
want?
I think you got a minute
Oh,
for it.
a minute to
If I'm
make
not
a-
mistaken, I've never used it, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I think
Okay. I bet you it's on
think
your phone
1
right
minute.
now. I bet you it's on your phone. What happens if we get sponsored by TikTok? Do we go with it?
Well,
No,
it'd be
because then
sponsored
our
by the
show can only be a
Chinese.
minute long.
We'll give them a commercial. We'll give them a
Well,
commercial
1 minute
of
clips.
We'll give them 1 minute of airtime.
We'll
Well,
be
then we're
popular
sponsored-
with the ADHD
Then we're
community.
sponsored by the Chinese.
We're more popular with the 80s.
But then we'd be sponsored by the Chinese, and I don't know if we want to go down that path.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No.
Definitely not.
No, I'd rather be sponsored by a really bad
But,
whiskey brand.
Well, they're very authoritarian, and speaking of authoritarian, going in
yeah.
that direction, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but our 10th episode is
Ninth.
missing. Oh, yes,
Ninth-
sorry.
ninth
Our
episode.
9th episode is missing from one platform.
Just
And that
one.
platform is fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTube and all their knowledge and whatever.
No, this is a
Great
computer
wisdom
AI.
that
This
is
is
Their
computer
wisdom,
AI.
yeah.
We're talking about robots killing people and computer AI censoring.
Yes.
Based on just our title alone, which said no
So-
coronavirus here. And it
Correct.
had nothing to do with what we were told is that it violated World Health Organization's standards, saying that like we were maybe falsifying or attempt to diminish the coronavirus. Nothing like that was going on. We didn't try and do any of that. We're not
Right.
that tinfoil hat wearing motherfuckers.
No.
Okay?
And what's stupid is obviously the algorithm that filters all this shit out. They don't look at the content of the video. They only look at the.
Does it count
the
as a
title.
view though? If it scans or does it count as a view?
Either way,
Because I'll take the view.
So the title alone was just "No Coronavirus Here," and that was referring only to the fact that on 4th of July we talked about this for probably only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the very opener, and I missed the 4th of July, my favorite holiday, because my roommate came up positive for the coronavirus. So I had to self-quarantine for 5 days or 6 days until I got my results. And the title of the episode was "No Coronavirus Here," as basically just saying, like, I don't have coronavirus, I can come back into the studio.
You tested negative.
I tested negative.
For the first time on a lot of things, you finally tested negative.
Everything else might be
Probably.
positive, but on this it was negative. So they took
Finally.
it down, saying that we violated, their terms of service and their standards
In
because
relation
we're
to the World
pushing
Health
false
Organization.
information about the coronavirus.
No.
In no way did we even talk about that. The only thing that we had brought up was that I came back negative on the test. So therefore, I was able to come back into the studio and we were able to make the next episode.
I'm still pissed
That's
about it.
the only thing it was about.
We have to appeal it, and it's dog shit.
So we even
That's
tried
one of
to
our best
upload a
episodes.
different one, and it recognized that we're trying to upload the same video, and it said no.
So what is it recognizing then?
Well, it recognizes
That stupid
the
YouTube
timestamps.
code. Yeah, or that timestamp.
Timestamps and audio and stuff. That's why if you go on YouTube and you
try and
see like
rickroll
movie
somebody,
clips or
yeah.
something, popular movie clips, whoever uploaded it, they'll speed up the movie by like
Yeah.
a
1.5,
millisecond
yeah.
or slow it down so that their algorithm can't pick that up.
Oh, well, that's good to know. So we need to speed it up or slow it down. So it's like
No, I just want to rage on. I'd rather just rage on YouTube.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really pissed. 'Cause
But-
it was a great episode. Great interviews.
But you can still find it on every other platform.
Yes.
It's
Right.
still on Spotify. It's still on SoundCloud
SoundCloud,
and
Acast.
Acast. It's still there.
Places
You can
where
still
freedom
find
of
it.
speech still exists.
The links on it are still on our Facebook and
Yes.
Twitter, on our Instagram. It's all there, except for YouTube decided to remove it from us.
Yes.
So
And
that's really stupid. We're
we'll
trying to
appeal
appeal
it,
it. We're
but-
trying to get it back, but we'll have to keep you updated on that. But speaking of Facebook, what we are now doing, if you guys haven't seen the posts or you weren't able to join us, before every episode that we record, we're going to be doing what's called the Adulting is Hard, the live pregame show.
Yes.
Where we're going to be just doing a Facebook Live. We'll be sitting here. We'll just be talking with you guys, kind of just going over everything, doing a question and answer. If you guys ask anything, we'll happy to answer it, depending on what it is.
Someone's going to ask what taint smells like.
Anyway, you're looking at them. You get to see our beautiful faces and the
Yes.
voices behind.
All
the,
of this glory.
Wow.
Yeah, see the face behind the voices. We're going to be giving you studio updates on what's been going on and what we have planned. And then we're also going to be giving you a sneak peek into that episode for the week. So if you can, go ahead, go over to Facebook. Make sure you got your notifications turned on. Every 2 weeks on Saturday, we will be doing the Facebook Live. So you don't want to miss that. Join us. It's a lot of fun. We got a lot of things going on, so it's fun to give you guys updates that we can't do on the podcast alone.
And it keeps us accountable for the things we say we're going to happen.
Does it? Yeah, this is true. And we're already breaking that. We
we
apologize for anybody who listened to the Facebook Live. But we ran out of time because we had such a great interview
Yes.
with Mike Mongo. We're going to have to cut back on some of our segments. We are still bringing you the Darwin Awards, and we will never let you down on the Florida Man. So
Yes.
those are still coming, but we have to push the life hacks in the mailbag to the next episode. We're not getting rid of them. They're just being pushed back one episode, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's all double digits now.
And if you don't like it, at Ken.
Yeah,
At Ken.
Yeah,
At Ken.
I mean, about anything.
He
really.
knows all about pushback.
We've got plenty of those,
Even
which
if
is
you
we were
wanna tell
going to
me-
read, which is great because we keep talking shit to you keep talking shit to all these people and saying at me, and we're getting all this mail, but we haven't read them on air like we promised we would.
Yes,
so
yes.
we will be reading those on the next
I
episode.
don't talk a lot of shit about people. I just bring up points.
And we got a really cool guy on for the next episode that we're bringing. He's an actor. Oh, actually, we got two. We got the actor who is now he's doing his own. He's got a new show coming out. We're interviewing him, and then we also have a BuzzFeed investigative journalist coming
Yes.
on for next episode.
Yes.
That's next episode.
Tentatively lined up.
Right.
Tentatively
But
lined
for
up.
this episode, we got you guys for the special
We got an astronaut.
1-0.
We got a comic book writer.
We got AJ Rojek, who is a comic book writer, coming out with a graphic novel very soon called Torch Reclaim the Skies. And then he also has a former one, or his last one was The Guitar's Whale. So if you haven't had a chance, go and check those out. They're awesome. You can sign up for his newsletter and he updates you. He even gives you a free copy of The Guitar's Whale if you sign up for his newsletter. And then we have Mike Mongo coming on, which, as I mentioned before, awesome interview. This dude is
man.
the smartest guys I've ever talked to, and I even had to apologize before that he might have to dumb down his language to talk to us.
He played along. He did just great.
Yeah. He's a NASA guy. He's a
physicist.
He's a rocket scientist.
Yes.
He shoots off rockets. He's a novelist, not a novelist, I guess.
He is a novelist. He's got an Amazon best-selling.
Yeah, he's an Amazon bestseller.
Yes.
He's got his own book out, and he's a showrunner for a new show that he's got coming out. He wasn't able to give us a ton of information, but that's totally cool because
an NDA signed on it right there.
He couldn't give us too much information, but he does talk about his new show that is coming out. It is going to be on Sci-Fi, did he say? I can't remember what. Or on Amazon Prime. It's going to be on Amazon Prime.
And he explains why that is that way.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Really cool dude to talk with. Super smart. And just some of the things he was saying with his numbers and... It's just crazy to think about. It hurts my brain.
I'm surprised there's not brain matter all over the studio. Our heads are just
mind blown.
We'd be talking to you headless right now.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not going to want to miss those two interview guys. And then afterwards, we got the Darwin Awards. Each one of us found our own article of our favorite Darwin death. And there's some good ones. You're gonna laugh. I promise you're gonna laugh at this one.
Dumbest shit people out there.
And then, as always, we're gonna follow up with the Florida Man article, specially picked for you guys. So we're gonna take a quick break, guys. Yeah. As we said, we got two longer interviews coming up, so we want to get straight to that. But just a quick note before this first interview, we're bringing on AJ. We just upgraded some of our audio equipment here.
Well, basically the heart of it.
Yeah. The whole body
of it.
The
whole thing is...
Without this, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we upgraded this to a badass
fucking
thing.
Right before we were doing the interview.
Yes, right before. Yes. Probably the worst idea to do it then.
Yeah,
at that
it seemed
time.
great. It was great.
We didn't thump that one through.
No.
Who am I looking at?
What are you? Who am I looking at? Listen, that's I'll unplug it right now.
I'll just take it back.
No, you already bought my
No gimmies. No take backs. No take backs.
No take backs. No Indian gives.
Yep.
It is in our studio. I will claim theft.
Oh, that's fine. I got the receipt.
It's true.
No, you don't. It's in the box.
Yeah, it's in the box that's not porn.
It's in our tax boxes that says not porn.
Yeah.
Okay, we'd like to interview a lawyer next. Right. So if you
see where we all stand here legally.
We digress. Yes. Anyway, so as we were switching out the equipment, we weren't quite fine-tuned when it came to his interview.
We didn't test it.
And so we interviewed him, so the audio is not great on our part.
But the interview
with AJ's part is great.
Yes.
So
you can't hear us too much, but who gives a shit?
That's what matters.
You want to hear AJ.
Yes.
You do want to hear AJ, and that's the meat of the whole interview. So that's going to be coming up. And then after that, we got Mike Mongo coming up, and then our Darwin Awards and the Florida Man. So guys, just hang in there 1 sec. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Has the COVID-19 pandemic had an adverse impact on your business?
Are you ready to see customers walk back through your doors?
Here at Adulting It's Hard Productions, we understand that times are tough, and you may be struggling to keep your business afloat, and that's where we come in.
For a limited time, we are offering production services at an exceptionally discounted price. Go to www.adultingproductions.com to learn about our services and how we can help boost your brand and rebuild your client base.
Using our state-of-the-art equipment and software, we tailor your company's message and your advertising package to meet your needs. We handle the entire process from production to airing with absolute transparency.
Contact us today for your free no-obligation consultation and see why so many others have turned to Adulting is Hard Productions for their advertising needs. Simply go to www.adultingproductions.com and get your business back on track today.
Adulting is hard, and we're here to make it a little easier. And with us, possibilities are endless.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break. Hope you had time to do whatever you need to do. I didn't have time to run to the liquor store yet, and I know I'm running pretty low.
Wow.
Do we have any more shots left? We have
dinner.
Let's get started.
It's called day drinking for a reason.
No, we should have got started.
Oh, a little earlier.
Right,
Well, then I would have ran out a long time ago.
Yesterday we did. I don't know why we didn't.
Well, anyway, guys, we have a great interview lined up for you today. We have AJ on the phone. AJ, thanks for joining us. He is a comic book writer. He's working on a big project coming out. We're going to talk about that. But welcome to the show, AJ.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, AJ, we had some time, and we read the first comic, which was fucking awesome. It was great.
Sick.
But
Too short for me.
for our listeners out there, can you give us a little introduction of yourself and kind of just tell us how you got started and what you do?
Yeah, for sure. So I graduated college. I did the typical corporate vibe. I worked for a minor league basketball team.
Nice.
I won't name names because I didn't have a great time there.
Sure.
But basically, it was serious corporate vibes.
The worst kind of vibes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not a great scene. I didn't have a very fun time there. So I actually I quit and I went to like an audio engineering trade school, and then I started a freelance practice, which actually turned into a full-fledged podcast agency. So I actually, yeah. So I actually manage like a staff of a couple people, and we edit and manage. We have like about 24 podcasts on our roster.
Currently?
Yeah. I'll say about a dozen of them are active, and then like a couple of them are on break.
Not to be 13.
Well, that's awesome. So, as I had mentioned before, your first comic, The Guitar's Whale,
Yes.
it was a real short story. It's like 9 pages long, I believe. And I read it because I signed up. I went to your website. I signed up, which our listeners out there, be sure to go to his website. We'll have the link in the description, and he'll tell you what it is at the end. If you subscribe, it sends you the comic book. And it was a fantastic story. It was a short story, but it was really well written. The artwork was great on that. So my question about that is, where did you come up with the idea for that story, and how did you find the artist to make that art, and then the producer as well?
So that I thank you for like complimenting the book, because that was definitely written like a few years ago, and I think I've gotten better.
Okay.
But I wrote that like script. I saw there was like a contest for an anthology, and there's a lot of anthologies out there because people like people just don't want to like make the full-fledged book. So it's like, hey, let's get the squad together and put an anthology together. And there was like a contest. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do this. So I'm sitting in my sister's apartment. She's at work, so I'm like, I'm just gonna bang out this script in one sitting, and I did. Submitted it to the contest. Didn't fly. no. I was like, oh, well, that's sad. And then like a little while later, I was like, well, I thought it was a pretty good script, so I'm going to try to produce it. And I found this guy in Brazil. He was willing to do the drawings and the colors for $100.
What?
Wow.
Nice.
What?
Yeah. So if you have like if there's any listeners who are like comic book creators, they're probably doing like a spit take right now, because that's cheap. That's like working a day at McDonald's and getting paid $2 for it. Like that was anyway.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh, that's a come up. That's a lucky one.
Yeah. The guy was, I guess he either liked the script, or he just I don't know, he wanted to get the rust off or something. So he did it for $100, which was amazing. And I found a letterer, and he did it for free because he wanted a portfolio boost. It turned out great. I was like really happy with it. It's like a classic, you guys read it. It's like a deal with the devil trope.
Of course.
And I actually got I got the inspiration. Do you guys ever see that movie with
Crossroads?
Karate Kid?
Ralph Macchio is Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah.
Yes, the Crossroads.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love that movie. That's my favorite movie.
Oh wow.
We were talking about that upstairs. I go, it's not the devil. Well, it's kind of like the devil went down to Georgia, but it's the Crossroads. It's typical. It's a straight blues singer sells his soul and pays a price. And it was great. And the movie Ralph Macchio and Stevie Ray Vaughan, it wasn't bad.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. He killed. Yeah, I think he is. It's easily my top 3 favorite movies. I wrote that. We had it produced, and then I just put it out in the world. And I said, hey, if you like this, you like this. And then there is a publisher in like Ireland, and these are the guys that own the right to the Phantom. I don't know, you know the Phantom, the dude with the
Oh yeah.
old one, yeah.
They own the rights to the Phantom, and they also put out anthologies. So I was like, here, do you want this? And they said, yeah, we'll buy it for you for $100.
Came up, $100.
I made my money back. Yeah.
There you go. You made your money back.
Yeah. And then the guy from Brazil, I don't know how it happened. It was kind of like a casual, but I guess somewhere along the lines, he says he owns the right to South America. I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
So now, for some reason, this story is published in some Brazilian horror magazine.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I was thinking you were talking about the continent.
Yeah, South America. Like, South America, the name of the continent.
Now you own all those countries.
I'm purchasing the wrong stuff. Is what's happening. I'm not buying the right things. Like, continent names. Awesome.
That's interesting that you were able to just find some random guy in Brazil for $100 to make that for you, and then it turns out to be what it is. That's awesome.
Yeah, a real rare sighting or something. I don't know if he would I don't know if he would do it again, but it's just like the stars aligned, I guess.
Yeah. So you also have a full-length comic coming out, or graphic novel, however you want to explain it, called Torch: Reclaim the Skies. Can you give our listeners a little insight to what that's going to be about?
Yeah, for sure. So while I was doing this whole, like, running this podcast agency and just kind of like doing my own thing, I wrote this script, I want to say like a few years ago, and I said, okay, I'm going to write it's a 24-page script, which is like a single issue. And I said, hi, I'm just going to start saving up money to produce this, because I don't think I can pay someone $100 to produce this whole book. So I wrote this script. I couldn't tell you what I was inspired by, but it's just like, I thought the premise was cool, and I'll tell you about it in a second. But I wrote the script, and then I just kind of sat on it. I sat on it for a few years, just because I was just, I don't know, I was just working on other stuff, and I didn't have a lot of confidence. And then, I was just talking with a few people, and then I just kind of realized, like, yeah, I'm being scared or something. And like, I just was having a negative attitude about it. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this. Can we swear on here? Like,
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna fucking I'm gonna fucking do this. I didn't know what the protocol is to flag this.
Yeah.
Can we
You're gonna let
swear?
us do our new
That's all we know how to do, brother.
I don't think we're not getting local television.
Yeah,
skills.
so I was just living in fear, and then I just finally was like, I got to get over it, because if I, it's never gonna happen if I just don't do it. So you guys asked about where do you find these people. The Facebook communities are really big, actually. So I found there's like a huge Facebook network. I think it's called Connecting Comics Writers, and there's like 30,000 people who are artists and writers. And I basically threw up a post, and I said, hey, who wants to make this sci-fi comic with me? And I got a couple prices, and I had saved up some money, and I found this really great artist. His name's Tom Hawkinson. He's based out of Australia. So he's doing the art. And then I found a colorist. Her name is Daniela Barasone, and she's out of Italy, and she's doing colors, and she did an awesome job with the first couple pages. And and I hired a letterer, and then the letterer brought an editor with him. And now this is like a full-fledged operation. And we're going to bring the book, we're going to finish producing the book, and we're going to bring it to Kickstarter in the next couple months.
Looks like the stars are aligning again.
That's
People lining up to help you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So is this the only project that you're working on, or do you have future projects planned, or you're already in the works of being made?
I have a few other script ideas, but like it takes so much time to like write a script because it's not just like a typical novel. It's like you gotta map out these panels, and you have to. Each shot is like a movie scene, and you got to work with the artist too. You got to definitely let him take his own creative direction with it. But like writing a page takes me like a day or something. I don't know. Or at least for me, it does. So I'm putting all my time and efforts into promoting this book. I want to know that I can do a full-fledged 24-page issue. And that way I can show people like, look, here's what I've done so far. I got these other projects. But yeah, right now I'm just focusing on Torch. The premise of the book, I didn't mention it. Basically it's about a kid prodigy, star pilot. She was in the military and she was the best in the galaxy. And then like she was like, they put her out to pasture. So she's retired now. So now she's grown up. She's bored. She's drinking away her pension. And she and her brother go into town one night, and a bar fight breaks out, and like she misses that adrenaline rush, and she gets in that bar fight, and then suddenly it's like it all came back to her, and now she just decides, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna become a fugitive so I can have that adrenaline rush again. So that's the premise of the story, and basically it's like she's gonna make a lot of enemies, but she doesn't care. She goes for that adrenaline rush, and hopefully readers will like it.
Yeah, I like that premise. I like that idea of the premise. Just go, you know what, I'm done sitting on my ass and drinking away my pension, which we can relate. And then going out and becoming a fugitive. I mean, to choose that's pretty awesome. I like that.
Yeah, I think she's based off of, everyone has that feeling of like just wanting to blow it all up, and she actually does it. So
especially in this day and age of what's happening right now, people locked down in their houses, they're bored, they got nothing to do. They're looking for that adrenaline rush. You need to get out again.
Everybody's over.
Hit a bank here and there. I mean, just go on. Right. Good day.
You never know. But anyway, what kind of challenges do you face as an artist when it comes to making these comics?
I'll tell you, living in 3 different time zones is really hard. I'll email Tom, and I'll be like, hey Tom, let's do this, and then like I'll hear back from him 12 hours later, like, yeah, let's do it. So time zones is tricky, especially like an international team. The really biggest challenge is that I believe in it. I think it's going to be a great book. The art looks fantastic. I think my story does it justice. The challenge is awareness and promotion. And I tell people, it's like, if I want this book to succeed or fail based on the writing, not based on how good my marketing skills are.
Right.
So like, that's my biggest fear right now, is just like, whether the book is good or bad doesn't matter. It's like, just people don't know about it, then, the Kickstarter flops. And so that's the biggest challenge, is just making sure people know about it, generating an email list, getting people involved in the project and following along. And so marketing is a bitch.
Marketing's
I can tell you
that sounds, that's kind of the issue that we ran into at the beginning, is just, how do we get our name out there? So, and I think that's like that with most kind of businesses, especially when you're trying to reach a broader audience, is how do I get my name out there so everybody at least just hears of me? Let them judge me on my product.
Yeah, and then they can put him on the pull list at the local shop, and that's what you're looking for. That's Self is putting him in the pull list.
For sure.
You had a pull list, right?
Oh, me?
Pull list?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no,
I got a pull list in my local shop. I'm currently just reading the Batman. That's what I got right now. Saving up money for the project. So
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Dark Knight for life, baby.
There you go.
Sure.
So, can you give our readers or our listeners just a little insight onto how the comic book process is made, from like start to finish, kind of thing? Where does it begin, and how do you adapt the story, and making it all work and come together?
For sure. Yeah. It's definitely it's like a fluid process. But there's roles within making comics. I don't know if people know about this, but so I'm a writer. I'll write the script. There's different other roles with creating the art. So there's a penciler. That's the person who just does the sketches, maps out the visuals of the story. Then there's an inker. So he takes it from a scratchy looking pencil drawing to a clean cut black and white lines. Then the inker hands that to the colorist. The colorist, you can guess, colors. After that's all done, you got a nice colored page, finished, polished looking art. You hand that to the letterer. That's the person that puts in the word bubbles, the sound effects, wham, pow, that kind of stuff. And all the while, the editor is just looking at this entire process, making sure it's going smoothly, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, that kind of stuff. So for my project, I have Tom he's doing both the pencils and the inking, which is just great because it just kind of like streamlines the process a little bit. And then, like I said, Danielle is doing color. And then I have a letterer. His name is Joel Rodriguez. He's out of Florida. He's doing all the lettering. So yeah, we got a full squad working at it. Page, and then we just kind of go at page by page. I'm hoping we're ramping up production in July, and I'm hoping to get 2 to 3 pages done a week so I can have a late summer launch.
Okay.
That sounds like that's quite the process. Just thinking about it, you don't really put it all together of how much work actually goes into creating a single page.
Just getting my comics, I just read
And
it.
how many people have input and influence on one page of comics, but
There's better appreciation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have one last question for you, AJ, and I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Marvel or DC?
I know you guys think I'm going to say DC.
Oh,
but I can't choose. I love them both. I love them both. I won't pick.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Right.
I mean, Kyle's a DC guy.
No hate.
Are you
I'm DC.
Yeah, I'm Marvel.
DC
But hey,
for life.
listen, I really encourage people to move past Marvel and DC. Definitely check out the indie stuff. Like the indie stuff is really
right.
good.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah. If anyone's like looking to get into like sci-fi stuff, or just stuff that's totally different, just anything that's written by Brian K. Vaughan, super good. He did something called Why the Last Man, which is being made into a FX show. That's it's what happens if there's one last man on Earth. And then the other one he wrote that I'm reading right now is just super good. I just highly recommend it. It's called Saga. And basically, like, Brian K. Vaughan wrote Why the Last Man and like became famous in the comic scene. So the producers, it's Image Comics, they said, all right, you get the golden ticket. You get to write whatever you want. And Brian K. Vaughan's like, I'll fucking hold you to it. So he wrote the most wild, trippy, like, robots having sex, interplanetary proxy wars, badassery, mages fighting tech heads, sagas.
Wow.
It sounds like I'm doing a bad job of like selling it, but like it's such a good story.
I just pictured Thanksgiving at my in-laws' house.
That was like moral theater.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. I can't wait. You had me at robots having sex.
yeah, for sure. And it's like you get the first volume is only like $10. Get it on Amazon. It's so good. It's called Saga. So good.
Okay. Brian K. Vaughan. All right.
Well, anyway, thank you, AJ, so much for joining our show. We really appreciate it, getting a in-depth look on how comic books are made.
Absolutely.
And we all look forward to your new comic, Torch.
Definitely pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Torch, Reclaim the Skies. Make sure you go and follow AJ. AJ, where can people find you?
Yeah. I got it pretty simple. Just I have a link tree set up, so just go to www.torchrts.com. And that'll like bring up a page with all my stuff on it, and you can just decide if you want to follow me on Twitter or sign up. Definitely sign up for the emailer, because that's like that's the biggest way to like get in touch with the project. So highly encourage people to check it out. It's really cool stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, AJ, so much. And for our listeners, just hang out one quick second. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with you.
Summer's here, and you know what that means. Swamp ass. For those of you who may not know exactly what swamp ass is, let me explain. According to Webster's dictionary, swamp ass involves a sweaty wetness in the butt crack or general nether region that may soak through the underwear, even the pants. And as a man living through a hot summer, long car ride, or an outdoor wedding you didn't want to attend, but your wife wasn't giving you the option to stay home and watch the game, which the Packers did win, Rodgers threw for like an NFL record 12 touchdowns, and we don't have a DVR, but it's okay. We got to watch a couple get married who will be divorced more likely within the year. We understand the struggle of sweaty butt crack. That's why our friends at Sweat Be Gone have developed Taint Away, the #1 taint sweat blocker on the market. Simply apply the roll-on medicated stick to the affected area, then have a special partner gently blow on it to activate the blockers. This powerful formula will help keep you sweat and stink-free for 18 hours. Order yours today exclusively at kinksrs.com.
Side effects may include excessively sweating, rash, nasty stink, Taco Bell level diarrhea, and sterilization in men. Consult your doctor before using this product.
Taint Away. Lose the smell, not your confidence.
I agree and I disagree with that. Money can be the root of all evil, but
Can it buy you happiness?
I believe so.
I believe
I
it can.
absolutely believe so.
I believe it gives you less stress when you see the bills and you've got money to pay them.
Yeah, that's one less thing you got to worry about is money.
Right?
Anybody that tells me you can't buy happiness, I'd go buy one of those Bermuda Islands and name that son of a bitch Happiness.
Right.
And then tell him to fuck off.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I bought happiness.
My
Bought
Instagram post would be just that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a sad man riding a jet ski? That's what I go back to.
I can't. I've never seen anybody crying.
Never
never seen anybody just
my life
crying.
sucks.
Oh no, it's so terrible. I'm in this crystal clear water out here on
so
this
fast,
island.
I'm so depressed.
Oh no, that's true.
This is the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Why do I have money? This is terrible. No, no. So when people say
If you hate
that,
it so much, just give it to me.
poor people say that.
Right?
Like myself,
Yeah, exactly.
money can't buy you happiness. I just say
Yeah,
that because
you never hear a rich person saying that.
No.
You think Jeff Bezos is not happy?
That
Does he
dude-
even count anymore? Like money?
He's
I mean,
just
does
on a
he-
different plane.
Because this guy
Yeah.
loses and gains like billions in a day. Like
Literally.
Okay, I might lose $4 in my account, and I'm like upset. Like, where did that go?
Fuck.
Okay, because that
Trying to
$4
do,
I
like
could use.
Sherlock Holmes on that.
Yeah,
Like, all
yeah.
right,
I got
where
the
did
bank.
go?
I got the bank statement out. I'm remembering all the places I've been. Someone committing identity theft on me.
That's right.
Right for my $4.
That's right.
But then Jeff Bezos like, I made $20 billion today. But
Yeah,
I lost half
good luck
of it.
stealing my identity. You just
Yeah.
lost credit.
Yeah, exactly. If
Steal
steal
my identity, all it's going to do is improve my credit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do something with it. Just pay off some loans.
That's right.
Yeah, then at least I can cancel the student loans. Yeah, it'd be like, oh no, somebody went to school in Kyle's name.
Yes.
It wasn't me,
The School of Bermuda.
but I.
I got my doctorate from the Maldives. Does it
if you-
count?
yeah, and if you're depressed enough and you got
Yeah.
money, you can spend that money to go anywhere in the world to make you happier.
That's right.
I
Now,
mean,
have we seen a number of cases of people who were not happy that had plenty of money? Yeah. I would say in
sure.
the last few years, we've seen a number of them.
Because they're not using
Yeah.
it right.
Are they not?
I don't think so.
Or maybe they're just at that point that it doesn't matter anymore.
I would like to have that problem.
Having too much
yeah,
money?
I'd like to experience
I'd
it.
like to
Can I
experience
experience it?
Yeah,
I
even
wouldn't- I
maybe
wouldn't mind.
oh,
I'll put it to the test.
that's a reality
That's
show I would watch where somebody is given a mass amount of wealth for like 24 hours to experience. And then see
do
if they come
whatever.
out of it. Yeah. I bet you they come out of it even more depressed.
That's a good.
because they've
once it
had
gets taken back.
They've had a taste of it.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah.
Call it 24-hour millionaire.
yeah.
Hey, Netflix.
Well,
you
then
listening?
you'd be responsible for all the suicides afterwards.
No, that's why we have
That's why
a waiver.
They say
have a
a
waiver.
It's so fucked
That's
up.
right.
I
Listen,
know
we're
that
going to
the-
give you all this money.
It was done in a movie before, the one with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, Switching Places. Or
Trading
whatever.
Places.
Trading
Trading
Places.
Places, yeah.
Okay, remember that? So they did it there, and then they did it again. Well, Richard Pryor, that was a movie with Richard Pryor. They did that, where his uncle gives him $300 million.
Million.
Yeah, Brewster's Millions. He
Brewster's
gives him like
Millions.
$300 million. He has to spend $30 million in 30 days.
And then there was the one with Paul Rodriguez, which was $1 million to $1.
Yes.
You hear that
Yeah,
one?
you're
Yeah.
you're going deep into the vault.
That's right.
And pulling the classics.
Because I'm old.
Yes. No, it doesn't have to be old. That's just bad taste in movies.
Hey,
There's a difference.
listen up, Taint Boy.
It's not so bad now. It's cooling down. I tried that taint
some
away.
airflow?
It's working. Yeah, I got
I
some
can't
airflow
tell. I
going.
think you've been fanning over there.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
what I'm
last
doing.
10
You can't see
minutes.
behind this monitor. I'm just.
Oh,
my
I thought
balls
you were
are
doing something
hot.
different with that movement. Over there.
So it's on record. We call it 24-hour millionaire.
Yes.
Anybody comes up with that show, we get royalties.
Yeah.
That's
we
our
get
idea.
we get 12-hour millionaire.
No. So what's the rules to it? You can't. There's no cap to it.
No. I think you give people $1 million for 24 hours. Just $1 million.
And they have to spend it, and then they get what?
They have to spend it all.
Well,
Yeah.
$1 million
And they can't-
to
no,
spend in
They have to spend it all, and they can't own anything. That's what was
Yeah, they
Brewster's
can't
Millions.
own
He got
to give it away.
But he can only give a percentage of it away. These are all the rules that were established in the movie.
So you buy it for everybody else.
You can,
Okay.
but how
Not
do
that
you?
hard.
Well, actually, it might be harder than you think to spend $1 million. How many steak dinners are you going to buy at the restaurant you're at?
Well, see, the
Go
question,
buy 4 top line Ferraris. There's $1 million right
yeah,
there.
it doesn't work that easy though.
the question
You can't just walk in and go, "I'll take 4 Ferraris right now
Yeah,
and pay
with
cash."
cash. Yeah, you
But
can.
if they don't know who you are, you think they're going to let you in the Ferrari dealership?
Fuck
no.
yeah, if you're flashing $1 million.
Oh,
They
that'll
absolutely
What
would.
happens if you get robbed and all the million is taken? Does it count?
Then you win.
You
Well,
should
you're
win.
getting into another argument, though. I mean, if
'Cause I'm
you're
gonna rob.
giving $1 million, if you're giving $1 million
Yeah.
for 24 hours, the question would, and you can't keep anything. The question would be, would having $1 million make you happy because you can spend it on yourself, or because you can spend it on other people?
Oh god, now we're just doing sociology again.
No, that's not social. It's
Philosophical
Philosophy.
bullshit.
Philosophy.
Oh, same thing.
We can't.
I think, therefore I am. What?
I don't know. Netflix gives everybody a show, so they'll figure
They
it
should.
out.
Yeah, thank you, Netflix.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah,
take
the
it.
answer Netflix, you're greenlit.
Yeah. Oh, like, wait a minute. We have to actually come on and do work now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the
I-
premise for the show. That's why you pay writers and other people that do stuff.
Yeah, but then you have to get that network studio would have to give you $1 million every episode just for that person to spend.
Not
In
if somebody
hopes that they make
volunteers
that
to put up their
money
money.
back on
Yeah.
What if a rich
Not-
person comes in and volunteers to put up their bank account?
That's right. Or maybe it would just be, I don't know, just spending a day in the life of a millionaire and have everything.
It's
maybe
24
that would be a
hours
better
enough,
premise. None of the stuff is yours.
But you
It's
get to,
already there, but you get to.
God, this
experience
sounds more and
it.
more depressing now that I talk about it. Though.
see
God,
that.
I think I would come out of there just
See,
depressed.
like I can't take the maids with me. What?
Right? Right? I don't get whatever lobster bisque something breakfast.
That's right.
I mean, I don't get all these things that.
Spend 24 hours in the Spelling Mansion in Hollywood, and then go back to your one-room studio
For
depressing-
$2,400 a month, shit out of California.
Wait, you
that's
get
on-
24?
I was about to say, I think I just put that on the cheap end. I mean, now you're looking like a $4,000 studio.
Yeah, it's a crappy idea. I take
Yeah.
it all back.
Okay, take it all back. Yeah, I just think
That's a
we
crappy
would.
idea.
It's a terrible idea unless they want to give me $1 million to spend, and I'm allowed to keep what I buy. But see, do I want to though? Because I got to pay taxes all that.
It's true.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't like paying taxes. That's you earlier. I don't like paying taxes.
My taxes.
My
My
taxes.
rights.
My front yard. Get off of it, old man.
Get off my property.
That's him
That's
already.
what Kyle's gonna sound like
Yeah.
in just a month or so.
That's why I just leave the dog shit in the yard.
Get the hell out of here.
If they go through it, they're going to get it on their
Landmines.
shoe. Landmines.
Landmines.
Try and
Get your
navigate
bike
that
out
at
of my
night.
driveway. I gotta go buy more Bengay.
But anyway, guys.
My
we got-
knees hurt. What?
Oh, the weather must be changing. It's going to rain tomorrow.
That's right.
It's going to what?
It's going to rain tomorrow.
Oh, God.
The
No.
joints hurt.
Joints
Oh,
hurt.
you
Oh,
did. You become a
remember, what
walking
was it?
weatherman.
We went to the liquor store, and that lady was telling
you
us,
did.
oh, no, the lady was saying that, she's like, oh, it's going to rain tomorrow. I
Yes.
was in an accident.
I was in 14 accidents, I think is what she said.
It's
Something
so crazy
ridiculous
shit
like that.
And therefore, I know it's going to rain tomorrow. Like,
Yes.
The fuck
And
would
it-
you
you know-
do?
Wait. She was in 14 accidents.
Yes.
Yeah,
She knows
and
it's
she
gonna
almost
rain
died.
tomorrow.
And she
Yes.
almost died, and therefore she knows it's going to rain tomorrow.
So my question is,
And it didn't rain.
It did
by the
not.
way.
It didn't.
did not
I don't
rain.
think there was a cloud in the sky.
when I was growing up, my dad, my grandparents, they always complained about the weatherman on TV. Always complained.
That he was
He
wrong.
didn't
or-
know what the hell he was talking about.
Because his only job
he
he could
had
be
no
wrong
idea
half the
what
time.
the weather was going to be like. So by that philosophy, if pain allows you to predict the weather more, everybody should go out right now and beat the shit out of their local weatherman.
Because he's wrong 50% of the time.
I have a
Break
question-
his knee.
I have a question for you,
Give
though,
him a
Tim.
long, lifelong injury.
What,
Oh, wait,
what weather did your cancer predict?
Wow.
Oh, that's brutal. You're a savage. But
Gloomy skies.
I was,
Was
gonna
that
ask
right
you-
before Fukushima? Or
I think the day I was diagnosed, there was a tornado in Oklahoma or something.
That's not unusual though. That's Oklahoma.
we hit below the belt here.
That's
yeah, you
all
know
right.
you. Don't put we in there. You hit.
Oh,
below
you
the
do it all the
belt.
time. Give me a
I
fucking
do not.
break.
I am a man
okay.
of distinction and professionalism.
And fat.
And
Wait,
yes, not
I'm
fat.
waiting for the cricket to start chirping.
There is none that way.
Distinction and professionalism.
Well, I am though. I'm the epitome of it.
In what alternate universe are you distinct and professional?
Like number 646
you and your
or something.
boobies and ranch hat.
Yes. Oh no, it'd be
C-132.
C-132. That's the name of it. That's the alternate dimension that I am. Class act right there.
And thin?
And thin, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It has to be in an alternate dimension.
I'm making sure.
Definitely ain't this one. That's for damn sure.
Exactly.
I think in every parallel dimension to this one, you're still that huge.
Probably.
And the infinite dimensions that we may have at
everyone I stop in, I'm like, why am I fat in all of them? I thought this would be
it's
like
the one consistency.
I've met
you
different
have
versions of me
in all your dimensions.
The thyroid problem is universal. That's why. Okay, it's universal. All right.
Oh shit!
Man.
All right, guys, we're gonna get right to the Mike Mongo interview.
Mongo.
The physicist, the NASA astronaut, the teacher, the author, and just overall badass. The guy's super smart. Made me feel real dumb. Made Ken feel really dumb. Even worse than
And
me.
we had a connection.
Well, you did.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. That's off air.
That was off air. It doesn't count.
Disturbing.
Oh, come on.
No, he didn't make me feel stupid.
You guys
I just couldn't comprehend what he's going on.
Well, anyway,
The guy's super smart, though. Nice guy.
He's awesome.
As I was saying.
Oh, shush.
Sorry.
Shush,
Shut
princess.
your fat mouth.
Princess.
Interrupting his part.
Anyway, guys, here's Mike. All right. Welcome back, guys, from the break. So we wanted to make this break really quick because we're really excited to get to this next interview.
And we have no sponsors for the segment. We don't have sponsorship yet.
Not yet. But anyways, guys, we are extremely excited to bring onto the show Mike Mongo. He is... God, I don't know if I've talked to
smartest man
smart.
has been on this show.
I have never talked to
I'm going to call it right now. Smartest person has been on
I've
this show.
already apologized that if he's got to dumb down his language for us just so we can understand what he's saying. But anyway, Mike Mongo, thank you so much for joining us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Mongo, pow. It's not, by the way, it's not Mike Mongo. It's Mike Mongo. It's Mike Mongo.
You got to emphasize.
Nice.
Mongo.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, it's not like that either, because then it goes into a whole Blazing Saddles thing, which is probably, you guys are probably a little young for that.
I'm old enough to
I've seen
remember
that 100
Blazing
times.
Saddles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the oldest one here, so
I
I
can
would
quote
sound
that
old enough to remember that.
And Mongo light candy.
Yes.
I'm the light Sheriff Tate. And since I work with so many kids and so many students, I always say that if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, it's probably, well, I say BS. I got to find another way of saying that since I work with kids.
That's a legit way to say it.
Everything intelligent we should be able to explain to anyone. That's basically what it comes down to.
All right, layman's terms.
Theory of relativity. I'll challenge you.
Yeah, break it down for me.
Okay, so listen, I've been studying the theory of relativity since I was maybe 8 or 9.
I'm done. I lose.
I'm already out of this conversation. I've never studied it.
and even now, I cannot comprehend that energy equals mass times the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second squared, times itself. So the speed of light times itself. And my challenge of thinking is that I understand that the speed of light is the fastest that anything can move in the universe. That is the absolute fastest. Nothing, anything, not even nothing will not move faster than the speed of light, or will move faster than the speed of light. Nothing will move faster than the speed of light in the history of our universe. Now, there is one exception to that interesting truth. The universe, when it came into being,
was faster.
In the situation we call the Big Bang, moved faster than the speed of light. It came into existence faster than the speed of light, which is the physical limit of the universe. There is I mean, like, you guys gave me an intro, so I just got to jump in.
Take it, run with it.
There's a friend of mine, Miguel Alcubierre, who came up with what's called the Alcubierre drive, which is a form of interstellar. It seems to be faster than the speed of light. It isn't exactly. What happens is, as you've seen in the movie Interstellar, energy bubble is formed that allows the universe to slip around us in a way that, so the universe is just sliding past us in a way that it pinches reality in front of us, or behind, in front of us, and it pulls us to a destination or point in the universe, and then it allows the rest of the universe to go behind us. And so it's actually just
I can't even fathom
You know-
what that does. I can't.
The universe
no.
moves around you. You're not moving at all.
So is this something that's, you said, is in theory been created, or has it been?
Yeah. Okay. So Miguel Cuvier is a Mexican quantum physicist, a physicist, a theorist. He came up with the math that would allow for the warp drive engines in Star Trek to actually work.
Whoa. Thank you. That's my reference. With Star Trek.
Right. So then the challenge is, at the time when he came up with the math for it, that it would take the energy requirements for it to work would take all the matter of our entire solar system.
Oh.
Now, Dr. Richard Obusi has redone that math and figured out a way to use just the matter entirety of the planet Jupiter.
That's still
so you
quite the mass.
So think about it like,
fit that in one engine?
Remember how flat screen televisions used to be really big and heavy and right, and then you get it down, and now you can just like ship them in the mail practically.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Well, let's shift back. We got to do the introduction. He's got to tell us where he's getting all this from.
Mind blown.
All right. So
for everybody out there, my mind's
else.
completely blown. That's crazy stuff.
Yes.
But Mike, can you just explain a little bit of who you are, what you do, and kind of how you got into it?
Absolutely. So my name is Mike Mongo. I'm an astronaut teacher, and what I do is I get to encourage students from a young age into pursuing careers in space and astronautics. I've been doing it for almost 15 years, and so some of the students I started working with in 2007 are now pursuing careers in astronautics. And that was at the very beginning when I was barely working with a handful of people. And over the years now, I work with tens of thousands of students and just flooding them into the space industry.
that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
That's like almost like something Elon Musk would have. You know, like filtering in for the planets, and I mean for the
Interstellar.
space
Well, it would be
exploration.
interstellar
Yeah.
space travel. Would it be?
So I
Would
get
you
to
just-
work with Jeff Bezos a lot, and
Oh.
I get to work with
Whoa.
and United Launch Alliance is one of my big allies. So United Launch Alliance sends stuff to space all the time. Jeff Bezos is just working out Blue Origin, and they have a program right now called Postcards to Space, where any student or any child or any person really can fill out a postcard, send it to if you Google Club for the Future, it'll come up and you can get an address to send the postcard, and then they'll send your postcard to space, put it in a self-addressed stamped envelope, and then they'll send your postcard to space, mail it back to you with a stamp that says this postcard has been to space.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is
I mean,
really
nothing
cool.
against Jeff
That is
Bezos,
pretty-
but I
that's
can't
what
get
you
an
do with
update
your
on my
kids.
Amazon package in the state of Idaho. But if I could get my son to send a postcard to space, that's advancement. Okay, that's
Well,
advanced.
You know, it's funny because these days, what I get to do is explain to students how to use the actual mail.
Yes.
You're right.
How to write an address and which side do you put the to and from? Because I've
So
seen a
that's
lot
one
where
of my
the
most popular videos is send a letter to, because if a student sends a letter to NASA will send a letter back to them.
that is awesome.
Most of the astronauts, a lot of the astronauts did that earlier in their careers when they were young students, and then they grew up to become astronauts. So there's a tradition of this.
That's cool.
That's awesome. And then for our listeners, guys, we are going to put that information about the postcard stuff down.
Yes.
If you are interested, down
Links
into
in the
the
description.
description so you can follow Mike's instructions. And if you have some kids, have them send
Send
a
a postcard to
off
space and then
get it
tell
sent
us
to
about
space.
it.
That's something you could frame. That's
That'd
pretty
be
awesome.
I would. And so I'm also the author of the Astronaut Instruction Manual, which is an Amazon bestseller, came out in 2013. It's published by Penguin Random House. And I'm in Los Angeles working on the television series for that. It's being turned into a series that's character driven about the first kids in space. And that's being produced by Alcon Entertainment, who does The Expanse on Prime.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
No, I know that.
Yeah,
show.
we are going to touch on that a little bit, but I wanted to first ask you about, in your bio, it says you do all these different things. I don't know how you find the time in the day to be able to teach kids
That
and then
many
also
titles
be
and
on the
that much
board and be
involvement.
vice president of all these different. But with all these different kind of organizations you're involved in, can you explain a little bit about them and kind of what their goal is and like their aim?
Certainly. So the thing about the different things that I do specific thing, the most important thing is that even though I'm busy all the time, I don't overextend myself so that I'm only giving one organization not enough. So there's actually not that many things that I work with. I'm pretty focused. I work with SEDS, the Students for the Exploration and Development Space, and I work with Yuri's Night primarily. Those are the two big ones. I used to work with Icarus Interstellar, and I co-founded Interstellar Space Science every 2 years, I forgot, biennial event called Starship Congress. And SEDS, Students for Exploration and Development of Space, is the largest space-run college and high school space science and space career organization in the U.S. But it's also international. There's SEDS International, there's SEDS India, and I think that they have 25 international expressions, not just chapters, because there's like 100 and something chapters in the U.S. of SEDS, SEDS. So that's a terrific organization. I would say probably 50% of the students that go into SEDS go on to work in the space industry.
Wow.
And then the other organization I work with is Yuri's Night, which you guys would love, because once a year in April, around April 12th, we celebrate the first human being in space, who was Yuri Gagarin, went to space April 12th, 1961. And it is a celebration of human exploration of space, Yuri's Night. And so people all over the planet put on parties in planetariums, in shopping malls, in museums, in the before we did that. In the before.
Right.
This year it was strictly virtual, and it was amazing. We had 20,000 people from all over the planet tune into just a full evening of virtual celebration. We had Commander Chris Hadfield and Bob Weir from the Dead. They actually had a conversation with each other. It turns out Bob Weir is a big Deadhead. I mean, a space fan, and Colonel Hadfield is a big Deadhead. And
oh wow,
that was terrific.
That's pretty cool.
And Cass Anvar from the Expanse, who was really charming and wonderful, even though I understand he's going through some really big challenges in his life right now. Cyan Proctor, good friend of mine, the analog, probably the most famous analog astronaut in the world, and all kinds of folks like that, tons of astronauts, and everybody got together just to communicate that we all do have connection with space exploration. We just, it's not brought to our attention every day. The devices that we're using to communicate with one another right now, the technology comes from the space program.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember they've always said that the technology that you have in your hand on your phone is more than what was
used to put the first rockets into space and the first people out there.
Which makes me think, can I build a rocket in my backyard?
Well, I don't know what phone they're talking about, because mine I hate.
Yeah, you can. Why not?
You sure can. That's how JPL started. The Jet Propulsion Laboratory is just a bunch of fellows that were into exploding and blowing up things, created rockets, and then one thing led to another, and suddenly it directly goes into NASA.
Wow.
I didn't know that. Okay. Awesome.
So you had mentioned the Expanse that is on, I believe, the Sci-Fi.
No, it's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
I think it started at Sci-Fi, but
they got picked up by Prime.
Jeff Bezos personally picked it up at the ISDC in 2018, I believe.
Okay. So
and they almost lost it, and then everybody championed it we have a really great following with that show. That's my favorite. That's my favorite science fiction television series ever, by the way.
All right.
Even more than Star Trek?
I mean, Star Trek, I am who I am because of Star Trek. But as a grown-up, that's a great show. The first season is a bit of a slog. That's the world building, and then you get to the second season, and it's just.
I'm gonna check it out. I've seen it on there. I haven't checked it out, but I will now.
Amazing.
Though. I'll watch it.
But anyway, so the same company that produces The Expanse is now developing your TV show, correct?
That's correct. Alcon Entertainment.
So can you tell us a little bit about your TV show that you're going to have coming out?
I can only tell you a little bit. I can tell you
whatever you can.
Whatever you can.
I can tell you two things. One is that it is. Yes. Well, what's that? It is, the first thing I can tell you is that it is about the first kids in space. And the other thing I can tell you is that the writers did Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Two polar opposites there, right?
China?
I can see it. I can see it coming together.
It revolves around kids.
Yep,
I
there
guess
you
you
go.
could say that.
And those are the
Thinking of-
showrunners, right? And so then what's going to really make or break the show is going to be the director.
Okay.
So when can people expect it to come out? Do you have like a rough time?
Okay, so we have the pilot finished right now, which is not the produced pilot. That's the written pilot, and we're fine tuning that. They'll take it from we go to studios now. So that I say we because I'm one of the producers on the show, but I am like they are very kind in even having a conversation with me, to tell you the truth.
Okay. So, all right. Fair enough.
It doesn't work like that in any capacity in Hollywood unless that like people are like, oh yeah, we like to hear what you have to offer. That's it. And when they gave me the script the first time, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, are you kidding me? Like, this is not the kind of fusion reactor you would have.
I would just be reading me like, that sounds like it works for me.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, in social circles, most people like to talk reality TV or, what's going on, just stupid stuff, sports. But, you try to bring up space or, space exploration, people like to tune out. It's not a big subject that people are very cognitive about or even just informed about. But in your opinion, how important is the future in space exploration?
So that's you, Ken, right? That's Ken?
No, that's Kyle.
That's
That's
Kyle.
Kyle.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Kyle. Okay, Kyle. So Kyle, here's the thing. I come up with what you're describing all the time. And like there's a level below that actually, and that's the people that will confront me and say that we haven't actually been to space, or it gets worse than that. Like
Conspiracy
it
theories.
just happens. It's just part of the thing. It's an emotional shutdown for me. It's like all the steel walls just come crashing down
Right.
when I hear
Yeah.
anything. I have a young person who I work with this is an adult podcast. We can have these adult conversations. So I have a young person I work with. He's in his early 20s, and he is dedicated to the premise. He is deluded with the premise that the Earth is flat. Like he has that idea it's been presented to him, and his own skepticism about society and about life has led him to glom onto this idea, and it is a challenge for me. It's not like I've turned him off. I engage with him. This is not a thing that I would do publicly. This is a private. I engage with him directly, and I challenge him on his ideas all the time because his heart is right. His head is good. And so when kids are looking at stuff on YouTube, we all know that the algorithm just feeds us what it wants us to see, what it thinks we want to see, and also what it thinks is going to advantage itself by showing us.
Right.
So we can Google about the first person to walk on the moon, and it leads to the UFO conspiracy, for instance.
Okay.
That happens. It is a natural algorithmic progression. That's a challenge if we don't prepare students and young people and apparently grown-ups for those occasions. So when I am engaging with people who are a step above that in just a base level of reality that we have been to space, and space is this amazing opportunity for humankind as I perceive it. One of the things is, as you say, sports are not dumb. They're popular. They're like, I don't know if you're sports people. I'm more of a mathlete myself than that athlete, but I know that a lot of the students that I work with love sports, and they want to play professional sports. So in the US, there are 1.5 million. So when I'm talking to students, I break down some math. There's 1.5 million sixth graders, for instance. And half of those are boys, for sure. And half of those, let's say that half those students who are boys want to play pro NFL football, let's just say. So that would bring us down to 375,000 sixth grade boys that want to play professional football. 375,000, right? That's just sixth graders. Then I asked, and like this used to be in a big room, now it's on video, but then I asked them, okay, so now that we got that math in front of us, how many professional football player position jobs are there? This is a job. So how many positions are there? How many are there to fill? Like, here's the question. Do you guys know this answer?
I don't know offhand. I was doing the numbers right now for starting lineup and then your practice squad.
Right. So say your numbers out loud. What are your numbers? How does it? What do you think?
52-man roster.
52-man roster, and it practices
32 teams, and then the practice squad is what, 70?
70 or something like that. And those are
Somewhere
guys that are
around there,
signed to a
times
practice
team.
squad.
Regardless,
So
it's
what's
not
your
a
math?
lot. God, you're asking.
You guys got calculators. We're all intelligent people here.
Oh, I didn't know we were actually doing math.
see what I'm talking about? Okay, so we do the math, and the number that I have that I walk around with is no more than 2,500 professional football on the field positions. So that means that with just sixth graders, you have 375,000 people that you're in direct competition with for those jobs. Then you add seventh graders, eighth graders, ninth graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, freshmen, juniors, sophomores, seniors, people who graduated from college, people who never went to college and played football, and then you have the fifth graders, fourth graders, third graders who love football and have begun to imagine themselves playing football. And a person who wants to play professional football is in competition with all of those people. We're in the millions of people annually. That's 1 year's worth.
That's a competitive job market.
So like there's one door. We can fit 2,500 people through one door orderly. We can't fit 375,000.
Right.
So you're going to be all those people piling to get through that one door for those jobs, like through that door is those jobs. Now, it's been my experience, and I have a personal relation to this story, that if everybody's trying to get through that door, then go through that door. If everybody's over there trying to get through that door, then look around and find another way out, another way through.
Okay.
And so the student, I say, instead of thinking about because we're talking about young students, sixth grade, so seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, if instead of imagining trying to play pro football and be in competition with all of those individuals, be the best that you can at athletics and set your sights on being the first space athlete, first professional space athlete.
There you go. Okay. I like that.
Because we have leagues setting up now. We have people, and there's even something better than that. As a person who loves sports, and if you want to play sports, you don't like sports in space is going to be different. Have you guys seen the Harry Potter movies?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm binge watching them right now.
We can play Quidditch in space.
You could.
Oh wow.
Right?
We can have, jet brooms, and we can have and use magnetically controlled golden snitches and like all these different things like bludgers, and just really we can really play it. Or even better, how about this? Like I know, I don't know if you guys play Minecraft, because like it's probably came after you got into the whole thing, but every students play Fortnite and Minecraft religiously. And so when I talk to students about who likes to play Minecraft, they're like, it's an easy cheer. They're like, oh yeah, Minecraft. I'm like, have you thought about playing Minecraft in space for real? Because there's a whole asteroid belt. And one asteroid that is one medium-sized asteroid in the asteroid belt that is 1 acre around has $20 trillion worth of nickel. That same one asteroid of the hundreds of thousands of asteroids that are out there, that same asteroid has more platinum than all the platinum on Earth. I'm in my studio. It's like a really large room. All the platinum on Earth would not fill this studio. There's that little platinum on Earth. And one asteroid, one out of the hundreds of thousands of asteroids, would just just completely. It would quadruple the quantity of platinum that is available to us on Earth. And I mean, that would change the markets. And
I was going to say that would devalue something.
That then you get into
astronomically.
economics. So then if you're interested in economics, you can start to see how you can change markets with one asteroid. $20 trillion worth of nickel. What would that do to the nickel market? Think about it. If you're really into it, I asked, is there anybody here who wants to be a lawyer? Students. And then, some do, and usually it's because their parents are lawyers or because they
right.
And then you ask, I say, tell me, why would you want to be a lawyer? And they tell me. And what do you think they tell me?
They like to argue.
Nope.
My dad is, my mom is.
That's one. Dad or mom is one, but there's one.
Because they make money.
Boom. And so people think that lawyers make money, and we as grown-ups, we as adults know that some lawyers do make money, and then there's plenty of lawyers who
don't.
I've seen Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. Yeah.
So then you're talking about that, about being a lawyer, and then you talk about, have you thought about being a space lawyer? Because space law is a real thing. For instance, we're dealing with deciding on who owns what in space.
Okay.
Like I'm arguing that the moon is the birthright of everybody who is alive on Earth.
Right.
But the Chinese don't see it that way.
No.
Oh, of course not.
For instance, not to pick on the Chinese, there's people in the U.S. who don't see it that way. There's people in the U.S. who have private space companies who think of the moon as a resource, a commodity.
Well, we put boots on the ground. It's ours, right? That's what some people think.
You're thinking from a national perspective, but then there's also there's people that think outside national, and they think of a really large company or organization or corporation having the same authority as a nation, so that if a corporation is there, that they can lay claim to it.
Blade Runner. Wow. That epitomizes the giant corporates that own and run everything.
That sort of leads me into my next question that I had for you, is that Elon Musk said that he wants to put boots on the ground by 2030, I believe is what he had said.
Right.
Do you see that as being critical for the human race to be able to jump
viable
to the next planet? And is that critical to further
all of that stuff that we just talked about was how I face any criticism or skepticism about going to space, about what the point of getting people interested in space. So it seems like it worked, because it seems like I got all of your interests like that. So that's cool. and then we go into the getting people to Mars, and that's an interesting thing. Getting to Mars takes at least 6 to 8 months to journey from here to there. That's one of the big challenges, because I've been in this, like I said, my studio, which is really nice and really big, and I gotta pull outside, and it's out, there's sun and everything. I'm in California, it's sunny 345 days of the year. It's just awesome. And nonetheless, I can't imagine being in here for 6 months.
Okay.
I don't care what I've gone through everything on Netflix and Amazon already. I do not want to be. And now imagine this. Here's a great one. Imagine you three in a space capsule together, which, by the way, that capsule is approximately 11 feet. I mean, you guys might be able to see because we're on a Zoom call, but I've got it taped off in my studio.
Oh, wow.
How big that actually is.
Okay.
So imagine us living together in this space. Well, there's 4 of us, so that would be that's a space mission right there. So 4 of us living here together for 6 months. The question is, who dies first?
Oh,
okay. So that's where the space lawyers come in,
that's
because somebody's going to be prosecuting me by day 2.
We make it to the stratosphere before we start going at it. We don't even make it that area before somebody's complaining about something.
I don't want to be on that trip.
Right.
I'm interested about that trip.
Okay.
I couldn't do it alone. I would be so depressed and sad. I'm just like, I just want to hold a kitten.
Right. So do you think it comes out as an economic selling point? It's a stock selling point? Because if anything I've noticed during this pandemic is the amount, there's 2 things in the news. It's either pandemic oriented, or I see them putting satellites in space for broadband internet. There's launches going off around the world. Chinese saying sending surveyors to Mars, dark side of the moon. I mean, it just seems like we've been inundated with a ton of this lately. Like, if there's nothing else to talk about, but I think it's exciting stuff. But they just seem to like, there's two things they talk about: the space race and the pandemic, which I think puts people in a perspective where they.
I think the reason we talk about the space stuff is so that we have hope for the future.
There you go.
Right.
Okay.
So
very good point.
That makes perfect sense.
The reason that the Chinese explorers are on the moon, because there's an element on the moon called H3, which is helium-3. And I mentioned fusion, and it's one of the things that we use theoretically for clean fusion, non-radioactive fusion. And the place that there's a lot of it happens to be the moon. There's not much of it on the planet Earth. There's a lot of it in the sun. The sun produces it and expels it it's the hydrogen going off on the moon that expels the H3.
Okay.
And so that's impacted on the moon for all of these years, and it's been like a giant H3 collector on the side of the moon that is facing in that direction. And so the Chinese know this. We know this. I mean, India knows this. France knows this. All the nations know this. All scientists know this. And we theorize that that's the way we'll produce clean energy.
Okay.
And so that's why the moon has that point of interest. People want to go to Mars. Let's talk about Mars for a second. Continue to talk about Mars. In addition to how far away it is, the makeup of Mars it's mostly CO2, which is what we exhale, not inhale. And most of the temperatures there are some warmish, relatively speaking, spots, but most of them are sub-zero, way like very, very cold. So for the majority of places on Mars, the warmest spots are the coldest spots on Earth.
Oh, so not very summer-like.
Right. So for the majority of places on Mars, the warmest spots are the coldest places on Earth. And
okay.
And then there's no atmosphere really. There's no air pressure. So just about chest level, it starts to be. You ever see that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's out on Mars?
We were just talking about Total Recall.
Total Recall.
That was one of our references to the space program was Total Recall.
So even if you could breathe on the moon, the atmospheric pressure is parallel to what it'd be like at the top of Mount Everest.
Oh.
So you would immediately start bleeding out your lungs and eyes.
Oh,
that sounds
that's
pleasant.
a good image.
It sounds super pleasant.
Now, because there's no atmosphere because the atmosphere is so thin and the atmospheric pressure so low on Mars, the radiation it's inundated with radiation. It is radiation soaked. Human beings, like 200 times what a safe level would be daily. Like, it's,
oh wow.
Yeah, it's deadly. It is a giant microwave in a way.
Okay.
Microwave oven. And so the idea would be to go to Mars, go underground, use the ground and bear in mind, I think the deepest we've drilled on Mars is like 15 inches or something.
Wow.
and so we would dig down into tunnels and create HABs and then generate light and heat. So then we have the idea of terraforming the planet, which is restarting the magnetosphere core and with nuclear bombs. So you would drill down to the center of our planet, which is nothing that we've ever, we don't have any sort of technology that is capable of doing that, but theoretically, and then use nuclear weapons to theoretically ignite the core of the planet and then that would increase the gravity of the planet and keep the atmosphere from being stripped away by the cosmic wind from the sun. It's a lot.
So it sounds like that's a no. I'm just going to say that maybe we're focused in the wrong direction. We were just talking about this earlier, where the highest chance of finding, say, extraterrestrial life or bacterial life or whatever may be the moons of Saturn or the opposite direction. Everyone's focused over here on Mars, and I get that. It's probably because it's considered a backyard stretch in the size of space. But it just maybe we're going the wrong direction. Because I don't think I've heard theories of blue-green moss on Mars to terraform nuclear weapons, which sounds a bit extreme. Just going to say that,
Right. The
like you said,
blue-green moss, right? So there's things that like in Chernobyl right now. There's this new mold that they've discovered that eats radiation. It looks like.
I heard about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it, so I just heard about it, but apparently it's surviving, which is not necessarily the thing that I want to be living with, because
it may suck the life right out of you.
Right. So there's another interesting thing at the pole of Mars. They have polar caps, and there's these ice holes that are at least 240 feet deep, and we don't know what's in them. Like there's ice formed around the top, and then down inside is something. We've never seen anything there, so we don't know. But we know that these holes are there, and they're at least 80 meters deep. And those are so exciting to me.
That's the unknown. I mean,
that's where the monsters live, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
Sooner or later, we're going to meet one. And it's just, it's not going to go well.
It doesn't have to be a big monster. It can be just like a whole gazab of microscopic monsters, and they just devour you, or they assimilate you, and you become it. And then,
the Borg.
The Borg. Well, a simulation, anyways.
I think we have a new show for you to produce.
The Thing.
Mike.
That's a simulation.
The thing is the one I'm thinking about.
That's a simulation. Yeah. Let's see what else. There's been tons of that stuff, but that's awesome. Yep, wrong direction. Yeah. They were heading the wrong direction.
So the moons there's a lot of interesting moons. People talk about living in the atmosphere of Venus on floating. Venus, though, it's really hot. By the way, we have pictures of the surface of Venus. The
Russians got it, didn't it?
The Soviets.
Yeah, Soviets. I'm sorry.
Right. So I think it's Venera is the name of the spacecraft, and it lasted an hour, but long enough to get photos off from the surface of Venus. And
I've seen those.
So cool looking.
They're the only ones to land anything there.
They landed several ships.
That one lasted. Yeah, that one lasted long enough to take images. And then there's a conspiracy theorist because one of the images shows what looks like a gear on the ground. So of course the conspiracy theorists ran with that.
Like really hard industrial metal looking.
Yeah, and they ran with it, saying that we've been there, or it's just made up and stuff. I'm like, no, it just happens to be whatever they call that when you see images in something. Like clouds or
optical illusion.
Well, yeah, but there's a term for it.
Yeah, there's a term. We use the same thing in the paranormal field when you hear stuff.
So when people see things that they want to see, but I digress.
So people talk about living on Venus in floating cloud cities because the in between the hot surface and the edge of space, it's temperate. So which is, again, more like science fiction is far-fetched, but that's where we start ideas. That's where we get, and those things turn into like a...
So temperate is survivable.
Yes. Not breathable, but temperature-wise, it's survivable.
So get the beach bod ready.
Yeah, get my summer body ready.
But Mike, before we end this, I do have one last question for you. I know in our communication that when we were talking back and forth about scheduling this, you had mentioned that you had your first mission back in December. Are you able to elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure.
Or is that
classified stuff? No, not at all. And I worked with United Launch Alliance. They're one of the biggest launchers in the launch service providers in the U.S. And we launched apple seeds from the last known living apple tree planted in the United States by John Chapman, Johnny Appleseed, the actual Johnny Appleseed. Okay. So this tree's been verified by American Forestry and Heritage, and I went to the tree in Ohio, met the family. It's been on the same, the same family has owned it for 9 generations, the same property. And they've just been caretakers, and they're amazing people. Gosh, so generous. And they let people come and see the tree, and they tell a story, and they tell stories from, I met the 92-year-old, Dick Algio is his name. And he's been there, and he told me stories from his great grandmother who met Johnny Appleseed. Like, that's how close history is to us.
Wow.
It might be his great-great-grandmother, but it was a direct connection. He's 92. I think it was his great-grandmother that had met Johnny Appleseed. It might be his great-great-grandmother. People were younger and stuff then. It's just one of those things. So anyway, we got seeds from that tree. I did a residency at Urbana University in Urbana, Ohio, which is outside Columbus. Dr. Christopher Washington, a good friend of mine. I gave a keynote at the International Space Development Conference in DC last year in Arlington, actually. And Tori Bruno, who is the CEO of United Launch Alliance, was there. And my friend Phil Mesker, who is at UCF, he is a planetary scientist. He creates all the regolith, the artificial regolith, which is the sand. It's like the sand, the material that we find on the moon and on Mars. And we have that produced so that we can test our robots here on Earth with the quality of material they'll be working through. So he's a friend of mine, and they were standing together. He introduces us, and I meet Tori Bruno, and I'm super excited, and I say, I've got a project I want to pitch. And he laughs because he must hear that like a gazillion times a day. And I told him, and he goes, I like it. We can do it. And he has his executive assistant give me a card, and he's good for his word. A few months later, he's like, Boeing is not sure about this, but I'm going to put him I've got like a little thing over here. I'm going to take care of it. And then Boeing came on board the spaceship. And then it's their spaceship. And then we sent it to space in December. That was the Starliner CST-100. We have mission patches for it, Johnny Appleseed in space, and the seeds came back. The mission has to be redone. It didn't reach its achieved orbit. Desired orbit.
Okay.
And then the seeds came back after I think 17 orbits around the planet. And now they're being germinated by a NASA space botanist, Dr. Alex Myers, and we're growing Johnny Appleseed space apple trees.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
I like it. That's awesome.
And we're gonna plant those in schoolyards, and and then kids will eat them and get superpowers.
Oh, sign me up.
See, I'm just like 30 years too early. Or too late on that.
Too late on that one.
Well, none of them can be third chair. That's me.
That's his third chair.
Superhero name ever. That sounds like yes.
Third chair.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show, Mike. We really appreciate it. Yeah, you blew my mind more than once, definitely. And just all those numbers you're throwing at me, it's just mind-boggling. It's almost like when I go camping and I'm sitting there in the lawn chair and it's
just looking up.
It's 10 o'clock and looking up when it's super clear out and you're just seeing all those dots. You're like, oh my God, we are so small compared to the rest of the universe. It's just when I think of space,
if you have kids or if you have friends with kids, I do a program, Mike Mongo's Astronaut Adventures on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Mike Mongo. And I set it up since after the pandemic started because I was not able to go to schools and to organizational meetings any longer. And so we're 46 episodes into it. 1 hour, each one is a 1 hour classroom. And they're very accessible. They're terrific to watch with your sons or daughters or nieces or nephews or grandchildren, answer questions. And we talk about some really cool stuff.
Awesome.
And I invite you and your listeners to check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So where else can people find you, Mike?
I'm easy to find on the interweb. Just Google Mike Mongo.
Perfect. That's easy enough. And for everybody else, we're going to put Mike's all his links down in the podcast description below. So if you're interested, follow him on everything that you can. Watch his YouTube videos. Go to his website. Pick up his book, Amazon bestseller. So we want to thank you again so much, Mike, for joining the show. We really appreciate it.
I had a blast.
Awesome.
We did too.
Thank you very much.
Lots of information. All right, guys, stick by for 1 second. We're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. We have all experienced it. The embarrassment of shopping in an adult toy store. You may be too afraid to flop that giant 13-inch studded dildo on the counter, where an 18-year-old with bad acne and a voice that cracks asks for a price check over the intercom because the price tag fell off.
Price check on 13-inch studded dildo. Price check. 13-inch studded dildo.
Well, Now you don't have to relive that experience ever again. Here at Kinks R Us, we have a whole slew of new and pre-owned toys. Thinking about exploring a new kink? Click on the moaning girl in the corner to see some of the hottest kinks on the market, and maybe even find a hidden fantasy that you and your partner didn't even know existed. And for a limited time, all of our pre-owned 2019 fleshlights are 69% off. Wow, what a great deal! Also, we are the exclusive carrier for Taint-Away, the #1 sweat blocker available. Order today and receive a free Antonio Banderas inflatable with your purchase of $100 or more. Simply enter promo TonioMyTonio at checkout. Kinks R Us, get your freak on.
Your producer.
We're obviously doing what I want.
Everything you want to do.
Everything I want.
It's all about you.
So I hope everybody enjoyed our new sponsors to the show.
Yes.
Was it the
Taint-Away? Taint-Away.
Taint-Away and Kinks R Us.
It works.
Yeah,
It's got to blow on it.
You know, it's what he... kind of like that.
The side effects are terrible, though.
But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the Mike Mongo interview. That was fucking fantastic. That was such a great time talking with that guy and learning a lot of different things. I mean, I didn't comprehend it, but I definitely heard it.
Yes. When he says that the theory of relativity is difficult, that's what
I
describe it. Difficult.
I mean, it started out as a joke. I was like, I challenge you with theory of relativity. It's just like, boom. I'm like, damn, I just fucking ate that shit. No,
he explained it to you.
I'll fucking get it. But anyway, guys, we got 2 more segments for you on this show. Next up, we have the Darwin Awards. We handpicked these. We handpicked these just for you. So we had the challenge for each one of us that we can pick the better one. I lost, so I'm going first. Although they're all still really good. So anyway, without further ado,
selective, whatever they want to call it. I don't know what we call that.
Whatever you want to call it.
We have our own opinions. Why don't you guys choose? If you're listening, you choose. Write us in and tell us who won.
Who won?
People think I'm not smart, but I'm stupid. I've been stupid since the day I was born.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
So, the one I picked, this dude, I'm not sure what the hurry is here. You know, why couldn't you fucking win? What's so special about a goddamn lava lamp that you can't wait?
What does it say? It takes 3 to 4 hours. Okay, remember that.
Right.
3 to 4 hours to heat up.
So,
this guy died by lack of patience.
Aiden Bray, a resident of Kent, Washington, died in 2004 at the age of 24 because of an exploding lava lamp that left him covered in blue waxy goo with glass shards embedded in his heart. So at first glance, you're like, wow, that's fucked up. That doesn't sound like a...
Sounds like really
a Darwin.
fucked up way
That
to
just
go.
sounds like I'm suing the shit out of that company.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You feel bad
Defective
for
lava
the
lamp.
guy.
You start thinking that. But no.
Let me explain a little bit about this guy, all right? So Brady had developed an interest in the lava lamps, a device invented by Britt Edward Craven Walker that uses 40-watt bulb to heat up a wax-like substance in an enclosed water-filled see-through container. When properly warmed up, the wax can bob and weave hours, blah, blah, blah. You guys all know that shit, right?
I didn't know that's how a lava lamp works.
However, I thought it was real lava.
I didn't know what was in there. Didn't care. But now I just know it's a standard bulb does it.
But if anybody has owned a lava lamp, we all know it takes time for these lava lamps to heat up. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to prep. I mean,
Yes, you got to turn it on.
If you have a date coming on and it's 1970s.
But if you have a date coming over and a lava lamp is what you're going to
Make the
impress
mood.
with,
Yeah.
That's right.
you're not getting laid.
Have you seen my lava lamp?
Yeah, I have a lava lamp collection. Check this out.
Yeah.
Well, it takes about 4 hours for the lava lamp, to get up to speed and to heat up enough where it starts doing its clockwork
Blobby
motion or
thing.
whatever. Yeah, the blue, blue,
Blue, blue,
blue.
blue,
Kind of
blue,
looks
blue.
like Ken's stomach,
Yes.
I've
or
had
his
that
body
problem.
shape, I guess you could say.
My body isn't that
So,
bad.
Bray
dad bod.
became impatient. God knows why. I'm still questioning
He
that.
was super high and didn't want
So
to wait.
his idea was he's going to put this lava lamp on the stove.
On the stove.
Turns the stove on and puts the lava lamp on it, which was a mistake, obviously.
Yes.
So, quote, while this lamp was on the stovetop, the water was getting hotter and hotter. Some of it became water vapor at the top of the bottle, and as that water vapor became more dense, the pressure inside the bottle increased.
Physics.
Physics. You guys took that science class.
Yes.
Since a
We
lava
talked to a
lamp-
smart guy. We should have asked him.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, have you
Is
seen
this,
this
is this
article?
real? Is this real?
This has got to be real.
Like, yeah, it's
This is
real
for
dumb shit.
realsies. So, as the pressure built in the lava lamp, it's got nowhere to escape. The pressure inside increased up to 40 times the atmospheric pressure of the outside.
Oh, okay, now we're getting
So-
smart. We're getting
Now
smart
we're
with
getting
this?
smart, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Basically, the result is this thing fucking blew up and
He made a bomb.
Anybody
bomb.
anybody who's seen Bill Nye knows how this works.
yes.
Oh, God.
And I pity the EMT that goes into that room, sees a
Covered
dude
in
covered
blue
in
goo.
white goo, and
Blue
like,
goo.
Blue
nope, I'm out.
Blue goo.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not
out.
touching that.
I'm done.
I ain't
Blue
touching it.
waxy goo. I mean, you got to wear gloves just when you go to that scene. And then imagine being like the death investigator for that.
Oh,
At first,
yeah.
you're wondering, was this man stabbed in the chest with a lava lamp? Is this a homicide?
Mm-hmm.
Did the guy splooge all over it, whatever happened?
Yeah,
And then
your
you're like,
first
no.
thought isn't no. He probably put it on the
There's no
stove.
way. There's no way this guy died. No, that's not your first thought. Well, I guess
That's
what's
what I'm
left on
saying.
the
There's
stove.
no way that you think that. Like, oh yeah, it looks like you put it on the stove. Just another classic case of the lava lamp.
Classic case, because it happens. I wonder if that
I
happened
read
much
about
in the
this in
60s when
Sherlock,
they came.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
nope.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, that one was cool. I got something better for you.
Oh yeah.
All right. This happened in 2014. All right. Now, not in the U.S. though. This is something I could definitely see happening in some parts of this country.
Like the South.
Heval Yedirim, and if I'm not saying that right, I don't care. 13
Well, he ain't gonna say anything.
of Turkey, all right, was killed when a sacrificial goat
Yes.
bought for Eid el-Adha, I'm guessing, jumped off the roof over a protective fence and fell onto him.
Okay.
So
I got
the
a lot of questions
sacrificial
already.
goat jumped off a roof, over a protective fence, and fell on this 13-year-old dude from Turkey.
Quite
right?
a name.
Okay. Yedirim's father placed the goat on the roof of the building where he lived because he could not find another suitable place to keep it.
Okay.
Where was he
Questions.
keeping it before?
Is there protective fencing on the roof? To keep him, or did he clear all
probably.
that on the jump?
No, he jumped off the roof over a protective
Was the
fence.
kid taunting him? So there's all kinds of questions here.
I know. There's a lot.
None of
Like,
them are
this is
answered.
all it says.
But I want to read Twitter's PETA's Twitter feed after that.
right.
Do they
Oh, yeah.
do they clap?
Do they clap for the goat?
No, well, I mean,
Are they
Although it
sad?
is karma.
It is karma,
straight
because, I mean, they were gonna sacrifice this goat.
That
Oh,
goat
yeah.
is thinking, these motherfuckers about to kill me.
That goat
I'ma get
was,
my laugh.
when that goat was being put
Oh,
on the
also-
roof, he saw a bunch of people chanting. He thought,
Also,
this isn't
what
gonna
happened to
end
the
good
goat
for me.
afterwards? Did they charge him with murder?
Doesn't say.
No, did they eat him?
Did he get away?
Yeah. Oh,
Is he a fugitive? Is he a fugitive?
To this day, he's still looked for and sought after
Oh, that's right.
for
He
the death of what's his name?
Yedirium.
Close enough.
I don't care what it is.
What was that name again?
Ye-
I didn't catch it.
Bite me, Kyle.
Does it invoke a stutter? Because that's
I'll say
Ye-
Heval. Heval is his first name. Of Turkey.
of
So
Turkey.
apparently things like this happen in Turkey.
And what were they sacrificing the goat for?
to the goat.
Oh, who knows?
Gods.
To, you
I don't
know.
know.
What's the goat? What's the devil one that looks like a goat?
The devil?
No, Baal or whichever. There's different ones.
Baal.
What, Baal,
No,
whatever.
this is Turkish. This is Turkish
Yeah, this
religion,
is-
which is, I think,
Krishna.
no, they're not.
But, I mean, okay.
God.
Wait. There's another.
No,
he
they're
could not-
Muslim, I think.
He could
Well,
not find a suitable place to keep the goat.
You know why? Because someone was going to steal a
Think of
sacrificial
that
goat.
area
That's what it
around
was.
there. There
It's a
was
rough
no
neighborhood.
suitable place to
It's a rough
keep the goat.
neighborhood.
Let's throw it on. I have no suitable place to put Ken. I should put him up on my roof.
I wouldn't trust him
I
up there.
would agree with that.
I would
Sexiest
I
weather
would
vane
atomic
ever.
elbow drop one of you guys.
Yeah,
from the
don't
top.
give him too much credit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Don't.
that's true. He was
Set
already
standards that we
complimented
can't
way
achieve.
too much today.
What's that?
You're getting a little full of yourself. You've been complimented too much today.
I agree.
One time. I
think
think it was complimented once today.
But
As a team.
1,000 times of just detrimental
Dumb
mental abuse.
One compliment, we never hear the end of it.
Right?
I told him he was awesome 3 years ago. He still punches me around.
He's like, remember that time you called me awesome?
I do. I remember
It was
because
3:22
because it
on a
validated my
Saturday.
self-esteem immediately. That's why.
And we're all about validation.
Yes, we're all about validation.
So speaking of validation, beat that.
Okay, well, I got a shorter one, but it's a death by robot. Okay, it's titled Robot
Dial up.
Murders. So
Damn it.
It's a little bit shorter one. and it
Don't
takes
be
place in-
reading the Terminator script here.
No, I'm not. No. This is
Okay.
how you get it. Because this happened in 1981. When did Terminator come out? So this was prior to
Maybe
Terminator.
it was based on the Terminator.
Maybe they did. So Kenji Hirata, I guess, worked at a plant in Tokyo that was operated by 50,000 industrial robots. And on July 4th, while we were celebrating freedom, 1981, Kenji failed to completely turn. I'm just going to put that out there. I know what I was doing in 1981. I wasn't fighting with robots. So Kenji failed to completely turn off a malfunctioning robot he was fixing. So I'm trying to picture this thing malfunctioning, like just swinging its one arm around.
Right.
Just,
International sign of distress.
Is that the sound a robot makes, Kyle?
my robot does.
Is that the sound they make before they kill you, though?
Right.
I think
never
they
know.
whisper to you.
If
You'll
your
never know
toaster
'cause they
ever
kill
starts
you.
going, blah, 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 run for the hills.
If it
I'm
does.
thinking Chucky right now.
You're thinking Chucky
Yeah,
coming
I'm
in.
thinking
Okay,
Chucky
yeah.
doing
I remember
this.
when a generation was terrified of a fucking doll, but
Right.
okay. Due to his error, the broken robot pushed him. Okay, remember this is a malfunctioning robot. Swings out, pushed him into a grinding machine with his hydraulic arm. So remember, back then it was one arm swinging around, doing little parts to the car or whatever they're doing over there. Okay,
Sure.
and it's flailing about, and he fails to turn it off. And it turns around and backhands him into a grinder.
Just
Turn your bitch slaps him.
But here's the
slap
question,
that.
though. What was the grinding machine doing next to him?
That's what my next question was going
Right?
to be.
They didn't give us that information. Is it there for a reason? Does the robot throw
Like, I'm
parts into
sorry.
it that are bad?
If you see a malfunctioning robot with the arm just like a fucking
Yeah.
car lot noodle
Yes.
going off, I'm not going to go near it if there's a fucking grinding machine that's on.
I'm going to assume
sorry.
that since then, the safety standard has been based off of this guy's incident.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. Like, turn it off. Okay, so he is known as one of the first people. Okay, when they write it like this, now I'm curious.
Right.
One of the first people to ever be killed by a robot.
One of the first.
One of the first. So who
I
has
wanna
it?
know
So
the
we should
others.
probably figure if we can
Ford.
put a list together.
The Ford warehouse or the Ford industrial factory.
Oh,
I guarantee.
someone there
Yeah.
probably tried to start a fight with the robot.
Oh, yeah.
In a drunken
Drunk.
rage.
Well,
Drunken
you know.
rage on the line assembly line.
They weren't.
Go back! Go back where you came from. We built it here. What are you talking about?
I don't care. He took my
So if we want Terminators, this actually came out. This happened to a guy before Terminator.
You want Terminators? This is how you get Terminators.
This is how you get them. Right?
Wow.
I still think Roomba's going to be one that turns on us all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Just don't stick your dick in that vacuum cleaner.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
Anyway, guys, we got our final segment, and as always, Logan, what do we got?
Florida Man.
That's right. We got
yes.
Florida Man for you.
Florida
you,
man.
And so we actually had just a fucking solid gold one lined up for you, but unfortunately,
The link
it
didn't
was
work.
removed.
Yeah, the
yeah,
link
it got removed.
Guy with his wing
So
out.
we're not gonna tell you what that one was because we're gonna try to get it back and see if we can find
All
that
right.
article again. So we found the next best thing. Ken, what do we got?
Oh, Florida man calls cops on man he was robbing. This is great. So Boynton Beach, is that how you say that?
Yep.
Boynton
Boynton
Beach,
Beach.
Florida,
Beach.
of course. A man called the cops to tell them he had just been shot at 2 times, then admitted he stabbed the man after robbing him. That's where you can end this whole thing right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Just one liner.
just done.
Done.
Yeah, why the
I was
explanation? But
robbing
here we
this guy
go.
and he shot at me.
Yeah, this gets even better. So Boynton
Bastard.
police arrested 33-year-old Victor Morel on robbery and aggravated battery charges Sunday. According to the arrest report, Morel told police he met a man on the online app called Grindr. Found out through other
Tim knows what that is, by the way.
Hey, listen, you guys do that about
$20 is
68,
$20.
69 more times, and we're going to have a problem.
I'm going to have a problem with you. So he found out through other means, which I'm assuming he did a background check on this guy or something, right? That the man was a drug dealer. Okay. He said his intentions when meeting the man was to make some money off of him. Nothing else.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
it.
in air quotes. So we don't even know what
Make some money off
whether
it.
that's
I know.
stealing
Could've been
or
anything.
Quote, unquote.
selling services of sorts.
Yeah.
Right.
He was going to go get some wang. Then he decided to rob this guy. So the two men met at the victim's apartment on South Seacrest Boulevard, which is someplace in Florida, and got into an argument. Morel told police he punched the 53-year-old victim in the head, and then he grabbed a briefcase full of meth and hit him again before running out the front door.
Bah!
Yeah, just fuck you.
Wait,
You get
I
one
do
star
wanna
on
know,
you get
though.
1 star on your Grindr rating.
I do want to know: is this like a Martin Scorsese movie where you keep all your drugs and money in a fucking briefcase?
Who doesn't?
Like,
Keep him in a briefcase.
does he wear a suit too? Like walk around in it? Like,
I mean, it's pretty
That's
well.
the way to do it.
If you watched Miami Vice, yes. That's how they do it down
typed
there.
mine in my
That's what
prison
happened
wallet.
in
I mean,
Scarface. They were in Florida.
Yeah, and it was in a
Everything was in a
briefcase.
briefcase.
Yep.
I got your money,
Okay.
and I got your jokes.
Classic film, though. All right, so yeah, we're not going to, I guess, everything Floridian is drug associated. So the victim grabbed a knife and started to chase Morrell. So he swung the briefcase at the victim a second time, and a small silver gun fell out of the victim after the victim dropped his knife. So this is definitely going Martin Scorsese. So he
Yes,
swings it,
definitely.
gun falls out.
so he's got money,
Guns?
drugs, and a gun in
gun.
this briefcase.
Yes.
Why'd you keep all that shit in one place?
Well,
In something
Because
that is easily picked up and moved.
like in Hollywood, when
It
they open
won't
the
fit in a
briefcase.
man purse.
What? He didn't have a.
It's a satchel.
Sorry. He didn't have a.
Sorry.
What are those? What were those hip deals or whatever?
Fanny pack.
Fanny packs.
Yes.
Won't fit in a fanny pack.
1 kilo can. I'm just gonna say for a friend. That knows.
That I've seen in movies.
And you know those are big sellers down in Florida.
I've seen that in Hollywood once. The victim grabbed a knife. It was none of that. He tried to beat him. Got stabbed. As both men reached for their weapons, Morrell says he stabbed the victim and then got into his car to drive away with this supposed case of methamphetamine. As he was leaving, the man fired 2 shots at him that hit the front windshield and driver's side window of his car. This is where the guy goes stupid. So then, police say that when they spoke to the 53-year-old victim at the hospital, they told him that he'd been approached by a man named Luis, who was later identified as Morrell, who hit him in the head with an unknown item and tried to rob him of his wallet.
Unknown item.
Yes. So someone here is fabricating.
That's right.
Okay. And someone's telling the truth.
1 and 1 don't equal 2 in this
not
scenario.
also. The victim told police during the attempted robbery, the man was, or what robbery was when Morrell stabbed him. So I'm wondering if this guy thought there was drugs in this briefcase, because they don't say anything that they arrested the victim.
The only thing I'm
That's
really
true.
gaining from this, though, is that
Don't do drugs.
it's true that gays love to party, and I'm all about that shit.
About the party?
About the party, yeah,
Yes.
the party part.
Wow. I held back
Let me
for
rewind.
a
I
second.
wasn't holding back.
I'm gonna step
I
back.
saw
real
the
quick on
door
that.
open. I was like, I'm not stepping through
That's the
that.
widest door I
No,
could
that
have
was
gone
the closet door. And I
Listen.
decided,
Epstein didn't kill himself.
yeah.
Wow.
Hey, we're gonna get kicked off from YouTube again for saying things that are true. I guess.
Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ, we got some shit wrong
Fake
with our
news. Fake news. That's all I'm saying, Kyle. Fake news. Keep it up.
That he likes to party, or that Epstein killed himself?
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, what are we
Pooping
talking
that-
about? I know what we're talking about. How about you just say what we're talking about?
How about you just shut up?
Just stop it.
Not gay.
Jury's still out.
Just-
It's a long deliberation.
Well, that was
Anyway,
all
guys,
right.
Thank you so much for
Yes.
tuning in. We've
Episode
got another
10.
great episode. Thank you again to AJ
Why does
and to
anybody
Mike
come on
for
this
joining
show?
us. What's your, oh my God.
Horrible.
We have some medicine that we need to go take.
Yes.
Obviously.
Because we
suffer
have
from
obviously not
many-
taken enough today.
Many things.
But anyway, guys, like always, it is hard to be an adult. Adulting is hard, but we're here to make that a little easier for you. Stay, I don't
Fresh.
know, stay something.
Stay fresh.
And then just
Stay
come
you.
back.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Don't forget your face
Anyway,
mask.
guys, and don't forget to like us on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us on
Sub,
Instagram.
like, follow.
Yep. All that
All
good
that.
shit. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Acast, SoundCloud.
Instagram,
And then be sure to
Facebook,
tune in
Twitter.
on prior to next episode, which is in 2 weeks from yesterday, because today is Sunday.
Today's,
Right? Yeah.
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 today's Sunday.
Yeah, so in 2 weeks, we're going to be having that Adulting is Hard live pregame show. You're not
Yes.
going to want to miss it. We got some more good stuff coming up for you. Till then, guys, signing off. Take it easy.
See ya.